This is Keith, McCormick Performance Fitness. A little tip for you guys out there who suffer from hip flexor strain, pain around your hip flexors. Basically, a lot of people are going to occasionally have a strain in the hip flexor. Like me, I've had this going on for probably 6 months now, off and on. So what I have to do before I'm active is I have to get in there and really show a little mobility love to my hip flexor muscles before I'm active. Okay, so one trick that I like to do is foam rolling's great, and I do that, but you can't really dig into that tissue like you effectively need to on something like a hip flexor strain. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's kind of hard to get down in that area. So to tack down that tissue, we need a ball like a lacrosse ball, a tennis ball, something like that. So what I'm going to show you to do is first you'll get your lacrosse ball. Find something that you can lay down on, some sort of table, couch. I found this weight bench here works pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down here and I'm going to figure out where that tender area is. And it's kind of right in this crease area around the groin, around where the hip is. I have this weight because I'm going to create a little pressure. And I'm going to put the weight right on top of the lacrosse ball and I'm going to find that tender area. And when I find it right there, I'm just going to allow that pressure from the weight to sit on that and really dig into that tissue. So we're doing some soft tissue manipulation here, okay? And then once I had that going on for just a few seconds, I'm going to allow my leg to start hanging off of this table. And now what I'm doing is I'm lengthening that muscle tissue and I'm digging in, and I can even kind of manipulate that ball a little bit and get a little bit deeper in using the pressure from this 10-pound weight. And also, you know, not only do we have the 10 pounds going on there, I'm pressing into that a little bit too. So you can do the same thing by laying on the ground and kind of rolling around with the lacrosse ball in that area. I found this is a pretty neat tool to do as well, and it really gets in there, and especially allowing my leg to fall off that table. I'm lengthening that tissue. It's a little bit harder to do that when you're rolling around on the ground. After you do something like that, we can even do a little contract, relax, stretch. Let's move this out of the way. So what you can do here is you can grab some sort of a monster band or resistance band or something like that, and we'll get it hooked up kind of around the bottom of your butt cheek. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to get in a split squat stance. I'm going to internally rotate my back leg a little bit just to really feel my hip flexor. And I want to keep a neutral back here, okay? So I'm in this stretch here. I'm going to come down and I'm leaning forward slightly so I can really extend my hip flexors and feel this. Butt's pretty tight right here. I don't want to get overextended in this position. Like I said, I'm going to take it easy on my lower back here. So I've created a distraction as well. So this band is pulling my hip bone actually better into my socket. So I'm going to come up a little bit here. Got a nice contract going on my glute. I'm going to come down. I can even rest my knee on the ground there and get a relaxation. And I'm going to lean forward a little bit just to create that extension in the hip flexor. And I'll do this for a few minutes and just alternating, coming up, getting a little contract for about 5 seconds, coming back down with a little bit of this relaxation, but leaning a little bit more into this position to create that stretch. So the band is pretty cool because it causes a distraction in that joint space. It pulls the top of my femur, that ball, into the joint space a little bit better. It causes that manipulation, lines things up the way it's supposed to be. You can do it that way. You can even get a lateral band distraction going on too. You can't do it wrong. That's the cool thing about mobility. So a couple tips: if you have some of that hip flexor strain that's going on like I do, you got to take care of it before you're active, especially when you're going to get to a squatted position where you are causing the hip flexor muscles to shorten under load. So take care of your joints. Mobility is extremely important, especially if you want to be able to work out for a long time in life. All right, it's cold out here. Thank you.